Hey guys, MeLikeBigBoom here, and welcome to Unturned 3.17.12.0. Today is actually a Wednesday, not a Friday, which is a little unusual because most Unturned updates, if not all of them, actually come out on Fridays. So we did actually get an early update this week, I suppose to compensate for the lack of an update last week. Nelson says that he's heading off to Vancouver to visit family for the next few days, so that explains why this update is coming out today instead of Friday. That's fine by me. I'll take an early update any day. This week's update was actually relatively minor, I suppose because it's an early update, but we did actually get some super cool stuff, including a new weapon in this week's update. It's been a long time since we've got a new gun, and this is super exciting. Can't wait to show you guys that. But before we get into that, there are two new things that I'd like to showcase to you guys in the menu here. First off, there's a neat way of organizing the maps that you've downloaded now. It now divides all of your maps into 4 categories. We have the official category, which is all the official released maps, PI, Russia, Washington, Yukon, things like that. Then we have the curated section, which is where Hawaii will belong when that eventually comes out, because that was created by community members almost entirely and will be added. Anyway, that'll be there. Workshop maps that you download, which I currently haven't downloaded any, will be in a separate category, and miscellaneous includes things like the Alpha Valley map, the destruction map, which shows all the destructible objects. Official is where you'll be spending most of your time, and it's nice to actually have a neat little category. You don't have to kind of scroll through a massive list of the maps that you've downloaded to find Russia. It's pretty neat. In regards to creating a server, we now have 4 options instead of 3 in regards to perspective restrictions. Before we had perspective first to restrict it to first person, perspective third to restrict you to third person, or perspective both to let you choose between both of those. Now there's a new option called perspective vehicle, which means that you are restricted to first person when you're on foot, but on vehicle you can have third person or first person. I'm going to have to use that on my server. I personally don't really like the idea of being able to look around corners in third person and kind of have that unfair advantage, but at the same time having third person vehicles is really nice because it makes me feel better at driving when I'm in third person. So you have that option now. You can enter that into commands.dat, save that, and then when you start up Unturned, the server, it now says successfully set perspective to vehicle to restrict it to third person only in vehicles. That's pretty cool. That was added this week as well. Festive gift presents no longer drop. So if you have any festive gift presents in your inventory right now, be sure to either keep them or use them up or something. Just cherish them, because you will not be able to get them for another year or so. So I'm opening up mine to get the last of my carrot noses, and this is my very last festive gift present. I actually was dropped quite a few, especially because it dropped them all the way through Christmas and beyond, all the way up until New Year's. So I did actually get quite a few. This is really awesome. But I didn't actually get any mythicals this Christmas, though. Anyway, that was set to a 50% drop rate for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and now it no longer drops at all. So say goodbye to the festive things, and also festive Russia. That doesn't exist anymore. But you can still find it here in the miscellaneous category if you want to play it. And this was a bug fix. When placing down floors, or really anything on grass, before it would get rid of the grass surrounding the object, but when Nelson updated the grass, he forgot to add that, and now that has been fixed. As you can see, it got rid of the grass. And also in the advanced building mode, moving large amounts of objects, sometimes it would kind of scramble around and mess things up a bit. Now that no longer happens. You are free to rotate things and it doesn't glitch out anymore. That actually happened quite often, especially when you moved huge amounts of objects. Now that doesn't happen anymore. I was able to turn my house upside down, and it's perfectly fine. Now those are basically all the improvements, tweaks, and fixes. Now in regards to this new weapon. This is awesome. The new weapon this week is called the Scalar. Here it is. At first I thought, hey, this is just a blue Yuri, but if you take a look at the right side, you'll realize that this is a Kriss Vector, or at least based off the Kriss Vector. It is an American SMG that is actually really unique. It has all this fancy technology up here that's designed to reduce recoil and muzzle climb on the weapon. It fires 9mm or 45 ACP rounds. I'm assuming in Unturned this is kind of shooting the 9mm equivalent, because it doesn't actually have... Whoa. Maybe it shoots 45, I don't know. But as you could tell, it is kind of realistic, or at least compared to its realistic counterpart, because even with like no sharpshooter skill, it is extremely manageable with its recoil. This has no grip on it, none of that, and it is extremely easy to manage that recoil. This is amazing. This is, I'm thinking, going to be one of my most favorite SMGs to use because of its high damage and its low recoil, though I probably won't actually be able to use it because it only spawns in airdrops. There is no other way for you to get this weapon other than an airdrop. It is blue, which shows that this is probably going to be the standard issued weapon for Coalition members. Airdrops, as you know, are a thing provided by the Coalition for survivors. It's the Coalition that is dropping those airdrops for you guys. Coalition, by the way, is that Liberator aircraft. That's kind of the Coalition base there. So as a result, they are the only owners of this weapon. They are the ones that give it to you, so it only comes in those drops. So on top of it only coming from airdrops, it also takes low caliber military ammunition, which is a little tricky because on Russia at least, you can only find military ammunition at this place here, which is in a dead zone, or in airdrops, of course. Ranger ammunition, the more common thing, is the thing that spawns over at the military bases, and since each military ammo crate only has 40 bullets in it, and the mag here is 30, you'll basically be having to use a crate per magazine, which goes out just like that. All gone. Then you'd have to get a new crate in the dead zone or in the airdrop. It's quite a bit of work to get this thing up and running, but when you actually do have it, you really get to reap the benefits of its low recoil and high damage. It is really fun in that regard. It also has all the attachment points available. You can put a grip on it, you can put a suppressor, you can put a laser sight or adaptive chambering or a tactical light. I'm going to put adaptive chambering on this to make it shoot even faster and waste even more ammo. Red dot sight, I'm not a fan of the iron sights at all, so that's going to be very useful as well. And then let's go see how this shoots now. 30 rounds, we got adaptive chambering on it, also a vertical grip, and if also I have max skills here, this is going to be a laser weapon. It doesn't have very high range, but at close range, especially with adaptive chambering, this thing shreds. Let's go find something. Here we go. Come here. Holy cow. Wow. Alright, wait, let me take the suppressor off. It doesn't sound as cool. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh my god. Hold up, hold up. I'm not gonna move my mouse when I shoot at the wall here. Wow. That is phenomenal. And like I said, it is really rare and hard to maintain, but if you can manage to maintain it well, you are set. This is like the... I mean, look at this damage, even at range there. Probably not this guy. Never mind. Wow. This is a really good SMG. This is like the best of the best in regards to SMG. Also goes in the secondary slot, so you can have a sniper and a scalar. That is insane. Man, I've used up so much ammo. Man, this is so much fun. Even at a distance like that. That's still like head-sized right there. That's running towards the target at a distance of 25 to 30 feet. That is crazy. I do kind of like the blue color scheme as well, and I really like the back end of it here. The little stock here. Normally I think it folds over as well to the right side to make it even more portable. But of course you can't do that in Unturned. It would be kind of cool if it had a reload or a unique equip animation, just like the Honey Badger, where it kind of pulls the stock out, and in this case he would pull the stock out from the right. But it doesn't do that. It's just a regular old equip animation. But still, that is a Scalar. That is so cool. Once again, you only get it from airdrops. I'm not sure if it spawns at the military locations on PI or Washington. I highly doubt it, especially considering that it's blue and it's obviously meant for Coalition members, so it's probably only going to be on the Liberator and, of course, on those airdrops. Over here on the Liberator, you'll see that this is actually the standard issue weapon. You can see that that person there is holding the Vector. Vicky over here by the front entrance of the cabin area is also holding a Vector. And I'm sure some of the guards up here will be as well. Yep, everybody's holding a Vector. I forgot what weapon they were holding before. Is he holding a Vector? No, he's got a Colt. Yep, but yeah, this is all, they're all using Scalars. That's pretty cool. But anyway, that is pretty much everything in Unturned 3.17.12.0 in this week's early update. Nelson also wants to let you guys know that Valve added support for mystery boxes containing community-created items, so if you're working on some cool skins right now, be sure to get them on the workshop as soon as possible. Nelson is aiming to get some of these community-created mystery boxes up in the next couple of weeks, so be sure to release that as soon as possible. Anyway, that was everything in this week's update. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that gibberish because MeLikeBigBoom is out.